Hey, hey, hey. I am back. I am Jen Lederer, communication strategist. I am here helping you learn how to communicate with clarity, creativity, and impact. And I am talking about how you can position yourself to be seen as an expert. Not the expert necessarily. I think there's room for many voices to be experts in any given industry because it is our perspective, it is our point of view that curates our position in the conversation, of which many people can be involved in the conversation. But how do you do it, right? We know about know, like, and trust. We know about the importance of showing up, letting people see you, letting people get to know you. But I have found that advice to be true. But my perspective on it is always like, okay, but how? What do you mean? Like, when I am showing up, what am I doing? What am I saying? How do you get people to know you better, to like you more, and to trust you with their vision, their business, their dreams, their goals? And to continue this conversation of perspective, I want to bring it into the example of when there are all of these different tools available to us. And I don't care what industry you are in, the evolution and development of new tools and the latest features, and here's how you can do this faster and with more productivity, and all of that. There is no shortage of new shit being rolled out every single day. And more options just mean more decisions, right? That does not give anybody necessarily clarity on how they are going to use that tool, why they would be using that tool, how they can best implement that tool. So, one of the ways that you can make sure that you are positioning yourself as an expert in your industry is to be constantly showing people different ways that you see value in the tools that are relevant in your industry, in your space. Because what you're doing is helping people. Something that I say a lot is boundaries are the springboard to creativity. So when we experience that paralyzing fear of too many options, right? And so then we just don't make a decision. When you are there to say, okay, here's the only thing you really need from this thing here to get you really started. And here's how I would use this tool to get you closer to this goal. And then once you build some traction here, then you want to be bringing in this part of it. These are the kinds of things I'm always interested in knowing when I'm talking to people who are in IT or web design or marketing or branding or finance, or it doesn't matter the industry. What I am looking for is, of all of the things that are available in your industry, of all of the things that you would point your customers towards, why are you doing that, right? What is it about that tool that when you use it, when you pick it up, when you implement it, it becomes valuable, not just because the tool exists. And I was just talking to somebody before I came on this recording, and we were talking about AI. He is in web development, and I, of course, was asking him what he thought about what AI is going to be doing to SEO and all of that. And we were talking about, again, the power of having a clear perspective on how you use tools. And we were talking about AI image generators. And the example he gave was, somebody wanted, I think, an image of Darth Vader or something like that. And AI did one thing, and then an artist decided, you know what? What if we use the word Darth Vader to recreate the image? I don't even think it was Darth Vader. I think I'm getting the story wrong, but you get the point. And he was like, I don't think AI would have ever decided to do that. No, of course not, because AI would need a human to come in and say, here's how I want you to create this. And then even then, probably it's not going to be doing it as in as artistic of a way as the artist would, because the artist has such a clear perspective of the different ways to use whatever tools they were using, whether they're generating that image on digital format or they're using a pencil or charcoal or paint or whatever. There are so many ways that that artist has a clear perspective on what tools to use and why. And that is what makes it so valuable. So if an artist is then going to go over to technology and use it, immediately they are using it differently. They are seeing it differently than somebody who doesn't have that training, who doesn't have that background, who doesn't have that perspective. So the tool in and of itself is only as valuable as you being able to use it effectively and being able to use it differently than other people do. So the more that you can showcase that, the way that it's like, yeah, there are all of these tools, there are all of these things. From my work, one of my most valuable assets is how I can take brain dumps, right? Clients constantly come into a session and I have them brain dump all kinds of information. And then they stop and they're like, I have no idea what I said. I hope it made sense to you. Where I'm sitting, I am seeing all kinds of connection points, all different themes, all of the potential of how we can utilize those stories in different ways to help, position this person in their industry. The tool I use a lot is stories. And that is how I get somebody closer to really understanding their perspective and how they can speak on what they do and how they do it differently. To that point, if you're interested in learning how I work with people one-on-one, or if you're interested in experiencing my work, comment below, DM me. I just announced oh my God, do you see my dog? He was in the video yesterday. It is his lunchtime, and now he is in the video frame letting us all know it is lunchtime. So before he starts yelling, let me just let you know what you get in TaylorMade. You will receive a signature point of view framework. This helps you understand how to position yourself to stand out everywhere. Whether it's in networking groups, online, in your newsletter, how you brand yourself, the things you decide to write about in your blog or on LinkedIn or whatever, the types of videos that you create, all of that comes from your signature point of view framework. You will receive creative and engaging banks of refined talking points. So again, these come in really handy when you're on podcasts, when you're in networking groups or events, if you're speaking on a panel, how do you work in the talking points that highlight what we are talking about here, right? You're constantly wanting to position yourself as an expert in your work. And there are a lot of different ways to do that when you have a strategy for it. You will receive a library of signature stories. So when you have space for more long form storytelling and connection, what stories are you telling and why? And the more that these are at the ready, not only that, but you have practiced telling them and you hear them back and I'm listening to them and we're pulling out the parts that are really, really impactful. Now you always have something to say and you know how to say it and why you're saying it. Of course, that's always to position you as an expert. Podcast pitch angles. So now you have a great message. Who's going to hear it? Why are podcasts going to book you? It's not because you know things. Lots of people know things. It's because how you look at what you know, how you express and communicate what you know, how you take interesting points of views on what you know and can have really interesting conversations based on that point of view. Now you're booked. Now you have one of the top listened, downloaded, shared episodes, and they want to book you again. Content prompts, so that you can, yes, we use a little bit of the robots, but it's based all in the source of truth, which is you and your story and your perspectives. We don't let the robots be part of our creation until down the line. And then a brand voice guide. This is like a cheat sheet for when you do, get ready to get online, do a video, get on a podcast interview, go into a networking event. It's a reminder of the tone of your voice, of your brand voice. Like, how do you really want to show up? And there's a cheat sheet that lays out what you want to remember, what you really want to be bringing to the table, because it's not what you say, it's how you say it. The energy behind your words is so important. And lastly, in TaylorMade, you get a recorded mock interview coaching session, because none of these things are conceptual. You can't just think of strong perspectives. You have to practice saying them. And the more that you have practiced saying them, and you have me there reflecting back to you saying, okay, go more in that direction, be more bold with that opinion. How can we go deeper with this perspective? How can we unfold more into that? That is where you really start to get clarity, because we want to communicate with clarity, creativity, and impact. So that is everything that you walk away with when you go through my TaylorMade program, which only takes 3 weeks to get through. So if you want more information on that, comment below, send me a DM. I have my calendar open for the next week and a half while I am filling that program for the first round. It's not a group program, but I can only bring so many people through it at one time. That's it. I'm Jen Lederer. I will be back tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts on this conversation. If there's anything you want to hear me talk about in future episodes, I'm more than happy to hear your ideas. What do you want to know about my perspective and my take on communication? What are some of the struggles that you have with showing up? Is it showing up consistently? Is it knowing what to talk about? Is it doubting that what you have to say is important? Do you feel like everyone else has already said it a million times? Like, where are you at with all of this? All right.